Hello, this is Dr. Gary, and we're in the business of making good bosses into great leaders. This is a very brief description of the 7 steps of intentional leadership. This model is the culmination of over 40 years of leadership experience, research, and study to make sense of this complex and often misunderstood topic. When I'm asked, what do? I often ask in response, have you ever had a bad boss? Of course, the answer is often an emphatic and universal yes. Well, we fix that one way or the other. Yes, we want to make good bosses into great leaders. And sometimes bosses are bad not because they're bad people, but because they just don't know how to lead. And in many cases, even good bosses can be damaging because of his or her incompetence. Let me explain it this way. What would you do if you had an acute appendicitis? Well, you'd probably go to the hospital as soon as possible. And if it was acute and painful and ready to burst, you would have it removed, of course. Well, if you know what to do, remove it. Why not just do it? Ridiculous? Absolutely. And yet this is what we're doing every day when we give untrained, unskilled managers the responsibility of management. We're handing them the scalpel and saying, you know what to do, now go lead. Ouch. There's a better way. The 7 steps of intentional leadership teaches the how of leading. It is the foundational model built from the inside out that centers on the most important aspects of leadership, you and your team. Steps 1 through 4 are the self steps of the 7 steps of intentional leadership, where step 1 is personal mission and balance, step 2 is emotional intelligence, step 3 is building on strengths, and step 4 is organizing yourself and is the crossover step between you and your team. Step 4 is organizing your team, and step 5 is building relationships. Step 6, competencies, and step 7, executing. Let me briefly describe each. Step 1, personal mission and balance. This is your compass and the inner core of who you are. It guides your decisions each day so you stay the course. In order to consistently stay on your path and be able to take care of others, you must balance your life spiritually, physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially. In other words, take care of yourself. Step 2 is emotional intelligence, and according to Dr. Daniel Goleman, is directly correlated to leadership effectiveness. Emotional intelligence is being aware of what you're feeling, managing yourself while understanding what others are feeling, and then manage the interaction in the moment. Step 3 is building on strengths and knowing your limitations. We've been conditioned to focus on what we do not do well. Yet excellence comes from minimizing limitations while maximizing the time and the talents to build those strengths to take you to greatness. Pay attention to those things you find easy to do. They are probably world-class talents. Step 4 is organizing yourself and your team. Clarifying the mission, your values, and a strategy will give you the foundation to set goals, identify roles, establish tasks, and set priorities. Knowing your priorities and your team's priorities is the only way to manage your time. Step 5, building relationships, something that most of us do without thought. And we understand that experience alone is a horrible teacher, especially in relationships. Learning to build strong relationships requires trust, mutual respect, mastering many skills, and the simplicity of courtesies we were taught as children, like saying please and thank you. Step 6 is competencies. This is about developing the skills needed to do the job, skills of leadership, management, and technical capabilities. Most organizations have 3 to 5 key competencies. Knowing what needs to be done well and developing these skills is paramount to team and organizational success. Step 7, executing. It's about getting things done through clarity, task assignment, and accountability. Knowing your key performance indicators, holding effective meetings, and always having an action plan are at the core of execution. The 7 steps of intentional leadership. To have the courage to make a difference, you must start with the courage to face yourself, know yourself, and demonstrate to those around you that you are worth following. For more details on the 7 steps of intentional leadership, look for videos that explain more about self, the team, and each of the individual steps. Thank you for listening. This is Dr. Gary, making good bosses into great leaders.